I think it will. Okay, now I'm finally there. Yes, welcome everybody. We won this year the GeoBIM 2020 award. I get in contact with Sergio and some colleagues of you about BIM basic infra. Probably Sergio will tell you more about this in this meeting, hopefully. So I want to show you some things we did on this project in the Netherlands, in Rotterdam. Before I will introduce shortly Ballast Nedam. We're a contractor. Already from 1877, and important for us is that the last in 2050 we were taken over by Renaissance. Renaissance is a big Turkish contractor of Mr. Erman İliçak. 2015, yeah, they acquired Ballast Nedam, and they are a big contractor, the 23rd in the ENR top 250, 9th of Europe, and originally they are really from the big buildings, Renaissance. They also bought POR in the past for the Gotthard Tunnel, but they bought Ballast Nedam also because we have infra. And now Ballast Nedam, we are around 1,700 employees, 900 million turnover, as you can see on this on the screen. And I am part of the management team of infra projects. So we are responsible for the large infrastructure projects in the Netherlands. Some examples here, and I will tell you more about the Blankenburg in a minute. And we are partner of the BIM Basic Infra, BIM Básico Infra, Sergio explained to me in Spanish. So when I was working at Ballast Nedam, we start talking about BIM, and that's interesting, and probably you know it as well, because we can talk about BIM hours, and then still we don't understand us. It depends on what point of view do you look at BIM? Are you an asset manager? Are you a designer? Are you somebody in the field? So we created BIM for project. We look at the life cycle of a project, and we look how we can use BIM into the design phase with BCF, with managing interfaces, conceptual design, seeing it on screen. Still, we are not working outside. Then we go BIM to construct the 4D, 5D component, so show how it is built. So then we made all the design and the plans. We go to the fields, and then we can use all the models for machine control, for monitoring progress. We can do maybe quality control, comparing. And finally, we deliver the digital twin, because then the digital twin is really born, because we have a twin. We finally managed it to build it outside. We deliver it to the client or use it for our own operate and maintain contract. And in maintain and operate phase, you can also use the digital twin for, yeah, this is new terminology, the predictive digital twin. But yeah, that's a little bit now, in Netherlands they are talking about it, but we're not using it yet. This only can happen if we have good data management, because if we talk about, for this example, a bridge, and we talk about a pillar of a bridge, then the pillar in design is called pillar A. It has to be called pillar A in the 4D, pillar A in the quality control. We have to continue the classification, let's call it classification, of the items of the asset. And if I talk about BIM for project, I also talk about GIS for projects. Doesn't really matter if we talk about building information management or geographical information system. It's in our opinion, it's the same. And we have I have a short movie about it. It's with English subtitles. So hopefully this is working.
Digitalisering en BIM hebben een cruciale rol binnen de infrastructurele projecten van Ballast Nedam. Door onze speciale BIM for Project aanpak zijn we onderscheidend en effectief. BIM for Project ondersteunt alle fasen in het project, zoals design, construct, field en operate. Maar uiteindelijk zorgt datamanagement ervoor dat alles op elkaar aansluit. Zo ontstaat een uniforme projectdatastructuur. Goed voor ons, maar vooral goed voor onze klanten. Elk project start met BIM to Design. Hier ligt de nadruk op het slim vastleggen van data. Daardoor kunnen alle partijen integraal samenwerken en dezelfde taal spreken. Hiermee wordt de basis gelegd voor een uniforme projectdatastructuur, volledig in 3D. Belangrijk in dit proces is de clashdetectie. Door elementen digitaal in elkaar te passen, worden faalkosten tot een minimum beperkt.
Met behulp van clash-detectie stemmen we deze 3D-modellen op elkaar af. We leggen de 3D-modellen over elkaar heen. Als het rood oplicht, dat betekent dus dat ze elkaar raken. Oftewel, er is een raakvlak tussen die twee modellen. En dat moet worden opgelost.
Doordat alle data nu al beschikbaar is, wordt het mogelijk om belevingsmodellen te creëren. Deze visualisaties helpen ons en de klant om de communicatie met interne en externe stakeholders te verbeteren.
Met deze visualisaties sluiten we heel goed aan op de beleving van de opdrachtgever in de bouwsector. We maken inzichtelijk wat we gaan bouwen en ook hoe we dat gaan bouwen.
Parallel aan de BIM-to-design fase start de BIM-to-construct fase. Het hele project bouwen we in deze fase eerst virtueel, inclusief alle tijdelijke situaties. Dit 3D-model zorgt ervoor dat de planning en kosten tot in detail worden voorbereid en risico's van tevoren inzichtelijk zijn gemaakt.
Met BIM-to-construct bouwen we voordat we buiten aan de bouw zijn in een digitale omgeving. Dus we kunnen de fouten op de computer maken en fouten op de computer kosten minder geld als fouten in de werkelijkheid.
Uiteraard worden deze 3D-modellen gebruikt voor machinebesturing. Op deze manier zorgen we ervoor dat de virtuele planning helemaal overeenkomt met de werkelijkheid. In de uitvoeringsfase maken we gebruik van BIM-to-field. Met drones, laserscanning en sensoring waarborgen we de kwaliteit en voortgang van het project. En we zorgen ervoor dat we altijd uitgaan van de juiste gegevens.
Een goed voorbeeld hiervan is een dronemeting die we recent gedaan hebben, waarbij we de grillige situatie ingemeten hebben met behulp van een scan aan een drone. Die scan konden we vervolgens vergelijken met het 3D-model van het ontwerp, om zo exact te bepalen hoeveel kuben we nog aan moesten brengen. Daarmee konden we de grondbalans en de planning scherp zetten.
Als het project gerealiseerd is, start BIM-to-operate. Doordat alle informatie digitaal beschikbaar is, kunnen we deze naadloos overdragen aan asset managers en operators. Zo kan de beherende partij verder met het beheer en onderhoud van het project.
Veel van de informatie die aan het eind moet worden overgedragen, ontstaat al tijdens het ontwerp en het inkoopproces. Hierdoor is gaandeweg een informatie-oplevermodel ontstaan, dat bij overdracht actueel, betrouwbaar, compleet en doelmatig is. Het onderhoud zal in de toekomst nog beter in te plannen zijn en daarmee efficiënter verlopen. En dit is weer goed voor de beschikbaarheid en de bereikbaarheid van de weg en daarmee goed voor de weggebruiker.
A lot of information, I understand, but I will introduce you to the project and also to the different phase at our BIM for project approach. The Blankenburg Conexion is, we are now building it outside. It's a DBFM, Design, Build, Finance and Maintain. 2024 we will finish it. And it's not very long highway, but it's very intensive. It's very complex, especially on all the civil structures. 4 kilometers of 2 times 3 lanes, deepened and elevated into junction, which it will connect. 510 meters land tunnel, special dike, and almost 1 kilometer immersed tunnel. We are doing this with Deme and Macquarie Capital. Almost €1 billion contract amount, CAPEX and OPEX, and the client is the National Road Authority of the Netherlands. So if you look at my mouse, here is a current highway, the A20. Here is the current highway, the A15. We have to cross here one of the largest, one of the busiest rivers in the Netherlands, because this is the harbor of Rotterdam. There are some connections, but a new connection has to be created, the A24. So some changes we had to make at the A20. We make a full new junction here with 2 dive-unders. Slowly we go deeper and deeper to the Holland Tunnel. That's the land tunnel. Here's the intersection with the rail. Then we go up and go down again. Here's the tilt dike for protection, because Netherlands is below sea level at this part of the Netherlands. So we always have to look and be careful about the water coming in. Then we have the immersed Maas Delta tunnel coming up again, and this new junction at the A15 we created. Interesting project for a lot of our people. And here you see some visualization about the experience model coming from the south. We cross this new waterway, we call it in the Netherlands, big ships. 26-meter deep building pit here. It's very deep. If you are below, we are not below yet because we are now excavating soil in the wet. Coming up again, you see some local roads we cross. This is fully greenfield, this project, crossing the railway line, and then coming into the Holland Tunnel, the land tunnel. So I will come back to this movie. This is a situation of the design at 15 March 2019, last year. And then finally, when you come out of the Holland Tunnel, we go to the junction of the A20. But let's continue to show. So if you look to BIM to design, it was a design, build, finance and maintain. So we had a large design organization, and we organized BIM, GIS as staff of the director of the design, so that we get centrally coordinated and make sure all the disciplines that were involved, like the roads, the civil structures, the tunnels, the technical installations, the temporary works, that they work on the same standards we want them to work. Everything we did in 3D modeling. So 3D model is the base of our drawings. Still we need drawings, of course. That's the main information source for building it outside. But also we share the 3D models to our surveying department for working on this project. What did we do with managing our data? We make use of the CDE, the Common Data Environment Philosophy, based on the ISO 19650, from work in progress to shared to published. This is what we did on all the 3D modeling. So we didn't have a CDE in the clouds, but we had a network location because all the design team were working on location. Probably 100, 150 people worked on it. And we put them all together in one design team, and we created this network location where we have work in progress, pre-shared and published. We use DocStream. As soon as a document, let's say a drawing, is published, we put them in DocStream and everybody can use it. So CDE philosophy, very important to make sure that you can manage all the interfaces and share information. We also used issue management, and I'm talking for buildingSMART. So BCF, we used it. It was the first project. It looks like if we do this every day, this is our flagship. This project is a flagship of also our BIM approach in Ballast Nedam. Our colleagues from buildings teach us the issue management and the BCF, because in infra we didn't use it, not yet. And we used BIM Collab to manage all the issues, the interfaces, creating owners of the problems and make sure we solve it. As you saw, we also use an experience virtual reality models, especially for managing our stakeholders, our clients. You can imagine a project like this in a harbor with road authorities, with crossing rail. We have a lot of all these special people in the Netherlands we have to cross, and we have to tell them what are we going to do. So we created this VR model. Mostly infra works and some Unity we work as well. This is more software related, doesn't matter which software, but we created really fast this experience model. And what was interesting for us, that our model quality improved a lot, because, you know, our BIM coordination guy who was responsible for this experience model, he used all the information from the Common Data Environment. He put it in 1-2 model, and then every 2-3 weeks we show this model to all the design team, all the project team. And then sometimes people see, hey, my quality of my model is not that good. And if I want to show it in this movie, I have to improve my model quality. I have to make better metadata for possible the materials. So we saw really improving the model quality because we used the experience model and we updated every 2 to 3 weeks. Because discipline like roads here in the middle say, hey, this is not correct. I want to have my crash barriers. I want to have it in, and I want to improve the model quality. And that was interesting and really important that we updated it every 2-3 weeks. It wasn't that much work, probably 4 to 8 hours the time. And because we have all the data good stored on the CDE, the BIM, the virtual reality guy could pick it out and make these models. If you look to BIM to construct, really important for us was that we had in the design team, we had one leader for all the temporary works. Because in infrastructure, most of the time, we have an existing situation. Then we create a temporary situation because we have to build large tunnels. There are all temporary situations to the final situation. Most of the time, the modeling and all the guys are really focused on the final situation, but we need focus on the temporary situation. We want to know exactly what has happened during construction phase on the site. And because we did it, that was really much more easy to create 4D scheduling. We use Synchro and we made a connection from Synchro with Primavera because our client asked us to work with Primavera. So we connected it, and because we have all the temporary situations, we start modeling the material as well and really make this happen. It was also interesting. The movie is interesting. Of course, the movie is interesting, but the process to come to the movie, that was the real trigger, because then we had to align scheduling lines, all the data information in the models, in the schedule. We had to align project engineers. We had to align designers. So making the 4D schedule really improved us in collaboration. And also what we saw is because we were thinking about the way we constructed, design changes sometimes because we want to make it easier to construct, or we didn't see any, we didn't notice some situation we had to keep in mind in the design phase. So we start learning it. Very important. If I continue to BIM to field, we start working on this project using laser scanners, measuring how we build it. So what you see here is example, a small building put for some civil structures where we did the foundation, and we put the design model and the capturing with the laser scanner. We compare it in a startup AirSquire, and then you see differences. Then you see, hey, this was the design, this is how it built. So perfect for quality control, non-conformities, we could really pick it out. So one part of the project, we are really digging deep into this. Also using Autodesk for comparing what we measured outside. We are not building the civil structures yet. We are only doing the foundation. We are doing the soil works, but it's interesting to see that the design fits on the situation we are building outside. Also, this was the pilot for our Q2Field own application we built with K3. This is really on digital inspection on site, where we use our phones, where we use iPads to do the quality measurements, fill in the information, bringing it to our own platform, Q2Field, connected to all our data structures, so we can centrally really see what the quality is. I didn't receive any update sheets on this one, but we are doing this as well on a project. And sometimes we use drones or maybe aeroplanes to progress the monitoring. But in the Netherlands, we are a small country. We have always problems with flying with drones because there are some airports, and close to airports you cannot fly without any permissions. You really have to be certified, certification. But we really used it at this part of the project in the south, where we have to do a lot of soil work, so we can see what was happening. The guy in the movie was talking about this as well. And now very updated. We just started 2 months ago. We start using, this is not BIM to field. This is more like showing the design into mobile devices. This is not a glass. This is the Trimble side vision. Here you see the part of the tunnel in the design reflected on the current situation outside. we are testing it. It's really a pilot, but this is really promising. This will change definitely our building pits because, okay, drawings, we still need to use them, but we start more building paperless. That's also something what's happening. And if you look to BIM to operate, we didn't finish the project yet, but we are already preparing for the as-built situation. Then you start talking all this interesting short ELS, OTL, VC coins. It's this project is one of the 20 projects in the Netherlands where Rijkswaterstaat really wants to make a change in delivering the information really good for the asset management organization. According to the information supply specification, we had to use object type libraries of the client, and coins is the container where we deliver the information according to the VC philosophy of connecting client and contractor. We built a configuration management database, CMDB. This is really important because in this configuration management database, we managed all our structures. We managed our system breakdown structure, our work breakdown structure, our work packages. And because we did this, we built our own data manager, not for this project. We have it already like 8 years. And in this data manager, we make with API, we make connection with our document management system. We use DocStream. So all the documents we can connect to our data management structures. Requirements, Reletics we use. These are all the requirements of the client which we have to use for the design and the building. The register for non-conformities. Asset management system, Maximo. And GIS, because the clients don't want us to deliver a 3D model. They want us to deliver a GIS model to the visualization, what we are going to build. But all this information has to be connected in this coins container. So that's what we are preparing as well. We already delivered this tool time for 2 other projects in the Netherlands, so we are used to it. And the data manager, the CMDB, this is key to manage this. Because if you don't connect all the data structures, you're lost, or it makes it really hard to do this. So I will end with some do's for now in the future, some lessons learned we had, and maybe it can help you for the future, or you already know it. So before the design starts, make agreements on 3D model quality. That's why the BIM Basic Infra is there, and the way you exchange the models based on the CDE philosophy. The CDE philosophy is really important. Work in progress, shared, published. This is the way we should do it. Uniform your system breakdown structure and work breakdown structure to connect data and make use of all the CMDB configuration management database to management this. If we didn't do it, I couldn't tell you such promising story about how we use BIM on this project. Then it wasn't possible to make the 4D schedule. Then it wasn't possible to create the as-built files for the client, or to connect quality control on site to our database. So, and this is a hard job. As Ballast Nedam, we start to make our own object type library, our own activity type library. So every project and infra projects, our business units will use the same codes. And of course, every project we can make some special, but the basic is the same. There is the key I always call, because technology is there, the software is there. We are really, the last 5 to 10 years, this software increased unbelievably, also the hardware. If you look the cost of drones, the cost of laser scanners, the quality of the information they can capture. So you have to invest in the right process, how you use it, and the culture, and also accept that you learn by doing. And this is hard because we are people and we don't like chases, but I think this is the way, this is what we are, most of the time we are managing this on this big project and not the technical part. And for every user case, think about, are we using BIM software? Are we using GIS software? There's not one package to show all the information. So from every user case, we look at the user friendliness and the need of the user, how we make sure the information is sent to the project team and the client. Now, this was almost my story, and then I want to show the movie that we showed at the GeoBIM that we won. You had a lot of information, so hopefully you recognize more things in this movie. yeah, together we make digital with GIS and BIM for project groundbreaking. And this is the award we won. Very proud to be awarded, of course. That's always nice, but especially because we did a lot of work last 3 years to make this happen. And it's good to be recognized in this one. So, short, fast story about this project. Maybe you have any questions, is there any time? And hopefully it inspires you to continue doing your job with buildingSMART Spain, because this data management, classification, open standards is really important to make this happen. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Paulus. I think there's well, the project is quite huge and quite impressive. I suppose it's not easy to construct channels in Holland, in Netherlands.
Soft soil, soft soil, yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I think that is really nice to see how you have a very clear process and how you are introducing technologies in different phases of your project, trying to see the benefits of each kind of these technologies. And I'm very glad to see that. Just I have a short question. Just if how have been involved in this process of BIM for project for the other stakeholders in the project, your providers, for example, are involved in your way of working, for example?
Yeah, but what we did on design phase, we manage the design as a contractor. We have our own engineering department. We have our own design managers, and we try to get them in control, of course. We make use of the market. We make use of engineering companies. And especially in the beginning, we already had a plan how we want to work. We tell the people to do the work, but these are Dutch people. So Dutch people are not like, let's call it hierarchy. They are not, if the boss says do this, then the Dutch guy is thinking, why am I doing it? Maybe right is better. So we had to convince them all the time. But what we did is, as soon as people bring in quality or models and the model was not of the right quality, then we send it back. So it's that simple. If it's not a good quality, we send it back. So really, in the beginning, we were very strict on the quality of the modeling and send it back when it was not according to our standards. And that was the only way to make a step in maturity for the design team to make sure this happens. And we do a lot of things ourselves. So of course we use subcontractors for all these issues, but also our own internal subcontractors of Deme and Ballast is involved. Sometimes this is more easier to convince them, or sometimes not, but especially in BIM to field, we still have a lot to develop. I see design in general, we can manage it, we are improving, we are using the class detection, but especially the BIM to field with all the laser scanners and comparing and progress monitoring, this is where we will invest the coming years to make this really more standard, because for a contractor, from a contractor perspective, this is where we can make the change, being more in control and try to improve our EBITDA, because it's unbelievable for a project like this, 1 billion, we have a lot of risks, and if we are lucky, we make 1 or 2% profit. And we can also make a loss, but that's not the way our boss wants, of course. But yeah, we have to be. This is very risky business. Yeah,
that's really great, because I have the feeling that many times the contractors says that the model that they receive from the design team is not useful for construction.
Yeah, we did it ourselves. The design we get from the client, we started all over again, because everything the client did in the past, we didn't receive. We only received drawings at the contract. Then we have to start all over again. So yeah, and then we can manage the quality better. But I believe, and you can help on buildingSMART, make sure this already the clients make good model quality, and we can share models and not only PDF 2D drawings.
Oh, thanks for your kind words, and thanks for your collaboration in our initiative. It's true we are going later in this event to talk about the basis infra, and yes, that's all. So Paulus, thanks.
No worries. I will share the presentation in PDF. People, any questions? You can see me on LinkedIn. I'm glad to answer it. And of course, I like to spread the story of such a beautiful project. So from the Netherlands, how do you call it in Spanish? Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Keep safe and healthy, please.
Okay, keep safe. Okay, have a nice meeting. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Paulus.
Bueno, yo creo que bueno, ha sido bastante interesante, ¿no? Y ver también, ¿no?, cómo